Hi guys, welcome to another video. This time I'm going to get annoyed at my neighbors. Thank God they're moving. We were actually planning on moving right after I moved here to this place because it was just too small for us, really. My husband also has a bit of a problem, like book hoarding. Basically, I've defended the studio against his books. Everywhere else in this house, there are books. There are books in the wardrobes even, and there are books everywhere, under the ceiling, everywhere there are books. And this was the main reason why we needed to move. My husband didn't have enough space for books anymore. There were just piles everywhere. All the shelves are in 2 rows and 4 rows in places. And the neighbors are so loud. Especially in the last 2 years, it has been absolutely nightmarish because they have been drilling and hammering for near on 2 years now. They always start some big project, that back facade, the front facade, some flat somewhere, someone moves, and it's been a merry-go-round of construction work, and they've been driving me absolutely bonkers. They were sledgehammering right outside my window here. It's behind the camera. Now, the infuriating part with this entire move is that it has taken so long. The reason was that there was a problem with the paperwork and it took forever to get sorted. It took us a year to get this new place, and in this year we were in total limbo. We weren't really sure whether we would be moving out of here or not because the paperwork was just such a mess. And in the end we finally managed to get the house, and that's gonna be absolutely amazing to have an entire house with space for all the books and with a space for the darkroom and the studio, and it's gonna be really good because we're both working from home, and it's also over there quite a bit more quiet. Even though they already announced some building works they're gonna be doing in the neighborhood, perhaps we're cursed in that way. There's always gonna be noise following us everywhere. I have a lot of different things that I want to do in the new space, and I'm very much looking forward to it. It's a big place, so it's probably gonna take a while until everything is settled and done. I'm actually sitting here among moving boxes, and I've kept this specifically for you guys so that I could make one last video in this space for you. And now I'm gonna pack all of this as well, and then it's all gonna go to the new place. Today a friend will help us move some fragile things to the new house. This is gonna be mostly stuff from my studio and my darkroom, stuff that I don't really want the movers to take because they might break it, like my cameras and my guitars and that sort of thing.
Don't kill the cookie. 500 meters, turn right onto Fernando Sergi and Kalia.
What? On the Fernando Sergi and Kalia.
Sorry.
So everything is packed now and ready to go, and in the morning the movers will come, and then everything is going to go to the new place. It's so strange to have everything packed up, and the flat is such a mess. There are boxes everywhere, but I think we managed all right. My husband did most of the work, of course. I packed the studio and he packed everything else, and it was amazing how organized he was.
This is such a crazy move.
The move is done. I can't quite believe it. I mean, it's been such a long time coming, and now we're actually in a new house with all our stuff, which means that now we can't find anything whatsoever. But it's so good to be here finally. And now we can actually renovate this place and make it ours, and yeah, it's gonna be so great. I'm looking forward to it.
My god, this room is crazy. Adventureland! Well, to be honest, that doesn't look like it. Welcome to my new studio. I actually have this entire attic for myself. It's insane. I have so much space. It's very, very new for me to have so much space, and I'm so happy with how this entire studio turned out. It's so good. I planned it to be just the way I wanted it to be, but I just can't really believe how well it turned out. It's really amazing. And it's good. It's good that it's finally done. The move was oh so stressful. And it was never ending. To me, it seemed like this move went on forever and ever and ever. Not because the move itself took such a long time, but because we had to renovate the house afterwards, and that took forever. At first, we just concentrated on making the house livable. Like, we concentrated on the spaces that we used the most. My studio was not a priority. We were focusing on the bedroom, and the kitchen, and on what we call the library. It's actually the downstairs library because we have books everywhere again, of course. This time they're also in my studio, so that's just how it is in this household. We just have so many books. And yeah, it's pretty amazing though. We have this entire big house, but that also means that we have to renovate the whole thing. And it took us a while. The library we did fast because that's where we also eat. It's right next to the kitchen, so it's our dining room too. We watch movies there and we have lots of books there, and it's a very nice space to hang out. I think it looks really good. And that was the first room that we finished pretty much. The other thing that we did was that we completely destroyed the kitchen. The old kitchen was pretty grubby and old and a bit moldy, so we decided to get rid of it and made the whole kitchen new with new furniture, and it turned out really nice. I'm very happy with it. And then we went on with the bedroom. That required buying some new furniture and building it. And the bedroom is not very big, so we actually had to build the shelf that we bought for my books on the bed itself. Building the wardrobes was also like that. I already put some finishing touches in there, like painting boxes that went under the chest of drawers and that sort of thing. Then the bedroom was pretty much done, I would say, but we still had to do lots of other stuff that involved the heating system, so it wasn't really done. We had to redo it one more time. We didn't paint in there, so this wasn't such a big problem. But yeah, the heating system needed work, and that was one of the big things that we did. The heating system was gas oil before. We didn't really want to commit to that because the gas prices are so insane. In the end, we invested in aerothermal, which is a heat pump. There's also going to be solar on the roof, so it's not going to be so environmentally unfriendly to run the air conditioning. And I do need the air conditioning because it's hot up here in the attic. The aerothermal installation was an absolute nightmare. We thought we ended up with a competent enough company. They seemed to know their stuff, but it wasn't actually the case, and they were really disorganized. And they promised us that it would take 2 weeks, and it took them more than half a year. They're still not done, so I don't know how long it's gonna take them in the end. At this point, I just want them out of my life, pretty much. I'm so done with them. They pretty much made it impossible for me to build my studio, so I may carry a little bit of resentment there. They had to redo all the piping in the house because the pipes that were in the walls were pretty much too thin, so that might have burst, and we didn't want that, obviously. So we had them put in new pipes for hot and cold, and we didn't want to open the walls, so it all went outside the walls and with cable guides, and it's not extremely pretty, but it works and it doesn't look too terrible. And we also had to run those pipes between the floors. I used the opportunity to put a cable all the way from up here in the studio to downstairs in the library, and now I have the fiber connection with an Ethernet cable, which is really fast. I love it, it's really good. So maybe that made it worth it? I don't know. I couldn't really start on the studio until they were done because they had to do all this drywall stuff to finish it up. And I didn't know how much space I would have for my desk, and took them such a long time to finish it. Of course, we also had problems with the parts shortage. They didn't have controllers for the fan coils for quite a while. In the end, we got some different controllers from a Chinese company, I think. And they're actually Wi-Fi compatible and 2-year app compatible, and you can use them with the smartphone. It's really cool. I can actually turn on the heating when I'm downstairs. I don't have to come upstairs to turn it on. I can also check on the temperature up here. When it's too cold, I can turn it on without even coming up here, which is pretty cool. Very modern. And yeah, that's kind of the theme in this house. I have smart bulbs in all sorts of different places. I also finished my husband's office, and also a room that we call the reading room, which is part of his office basically. That's where he reads because he's a researcher, so he has to read a lot. We both work from home, so we have a reading room. Obviously, that sounds like this house is absolutely massive, and it is actually quite big, but you have to keep in mind that we actually can't afford this house. We slipped in just before they changed the mortgage conditions. Now we couldn't afford this house anymore. We managed just before things got too expensive for us. We still need to finish some other rooms. This house is not yet done. We still have to finish the front room, and the room that is going to be my dark room also needs quite a bit of work. So there's still work to be done, but I consider my move somewhat finished because now I have my studio all set up, and it's so nice to have this nice big space to do everything that I wanted to do, and I have so much more space than before. It's really amazing.
Honest opinions are probably third on our list.
I think this video will be very stressful to watch for my husband. Everything to do with the house was just so stressful over the last half a year. And for half a year I didn't really have a studio. I didn't have my computer set up, I didn't have anything out of my boxes, nothing worked yet, and there was no end in sight because they just never finished on the f***ing heating system, so it just took forever. I think I started building the studio out in March, and now it's done, all of it. It really turned out so nice. I can't believe I have such a super nice studio space now. It's amazing. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really helps out my channel, so I would appreciate it. You can also support me on Ko-fi or buy my music on Bandcamp if you want to support what I do. We now have a very high mortgage and need to pay it off somehow, so any support would be appreciated. But yeah, the usual liking, subscribing, commenting is already enough. It's just there as an option in case you would like to support what I do. Normally I say there will be more videos like this one, but frankly, no, please, dear God, no. I don't want to make more videos like this. I don't want to move anytime soon. This move was so stressful, I think it cost me like 10 years of my life. So if I look any older, then that's probably why. So yeah, no more moving vlogs, I think, I hope, please. But there will be videos about my studio build coming. And there might be more than one because it's a big studio and it has different parts. And there will also eventually be a video about my darkroom build, but that's still a long way off. It's not a priority right now, but it will come eventually. I hope. I will have a dedicated darkroom. Can you imagine? I don't have to tear it down again after every time I use it. I'm gonna have it just permanently set up. I'm also working on more videos on the DIY electronic stuff, and I'm gonna show you more about my modular too. So you can look forward to that. And well, I hope I see you soon for another video. Bye! You can also support me on Ko-fi or buy my music. Sure. It really confuses me and I don't know what to say, and I haven't made a video in such a long time that I'm completely confused. Where am I even? Without even. Of course, I'm sitting in the dark. Do I even have another battery? I don't know.
I'm really good at my job.